Hi guys, another wonderful day here in Norfolk, UK. There is a Norfolk in America as well, isn't there? Uh, Today's been a bit of a stressful day. I've been trying to catch up on the videos, scheduling the videos that I'm making for both channels. It's really hard, and I was getting palpitations, and I made myself a cup of chamomile. But I don't know. Maybe I think I've got because my computer's the screen is huge, and ever since I got that computer screen and the computer in London years ago, I find it like I get really nervous when I'm in front of the computer. I'm not sure if it's radiation or EMF or something like that. You just get that. I don't know. I don't know what it's called, like radiation sickness or something. And I find that if I'm in front of the computer for too long, like it might take for an hour. I've got someone to help me edit, but I still have to do, make sure it's all right. And sometimes that person can't edit, so I have to do it myself. It's bloody stressful. Not the editing, but I think it's the staying in front of the computer screen. And today I got my first troll in the new channel. I only have about 40 subscribers, and immediately, bang, the first troll reared his ugly head. This guy, he was saying something like, "It's funny how," I don't know what he said, because I banned him immediately. Uh, he said that, "I don't know why a person who is a failure or a loser or something can teach other people." Then I went up to his channel to see who the hell is this guy, and he's going on in one of his videos, "I'm soon to be rich." Yeah, he hasn't made a video in about 2 years, so obviously he's butthurt about his own failure, maybe, or lack of abundance, and take it out on me. Even if I thought that a person, shouldn't be. He said you should get off YouTube. Bloody hell. So these people don't stop, and I was thinking I'm trying to avoid these trolls stressing me out, and I was just saying to my friend, I've only got 40 subscribers. Immediately I've got one because I did a post and I allowed people on my old channel to go onto my new channel, if they want to see my new stuff. But no, he was pissed off. He goes something like I'm the kind of person that blocks people for saying things. Yeah, I'll block people for saying things that I don't like. Obviously, you're going to abuse me, I'm going to block. What do you expect me to do? Just leave it on for your pleasure? I don't get it. I'm supposed to be there as a bloody punching bag for you. No, that's not happening. And it's not criticism. It's like things like loser, this, that, you're nothing. It's not like criticism like, "Oh, I don't like how you did your hair," or "You look ugly," or no, it's real fucking abuse. And no, I'm not gonna allow that. Why should I? If I've got respect for myself, I'm not gonna allow it. So anyway, these trolls, they don't. Obviously, this guy's. When I say loser, I mean maybe he's failed in his life, and not putting him down. I'm just saying, he didn't make it in life, and he's trying to make sure that everybody else doesn't make it, or other people can't rise up and spiral up. He doesn't know. This guy doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. This guy's or used to be a trader. He wanted to become rich. Yeah, fine. You want to become rich, fine. But there are other riches. You know, when it comes to abundance, you can feel abundant as a tramp, as a person on the street, as a person living in the wilderness. That's true abundance, because you don't need money or, you know, a beautiful woman, a Ferrari, a beautiful mansion in order to feel abundant, because it comes from inside. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this guy. Yeah, the reason why I'm talking about it is because I said to my friend, what's the point? You know, I just open myself up a little bit. Through the back door, these guys come. So another subscriber or a viewer said, it's simple, Gerald. If you're worried about it and you can't take the people, people commenting, or if you want to avoid the troll abuse and harassment, what you do is just take off the comments completely. And if you take the comments off completely, people can watch. And unfortunately, the good people who want to say nice things don't get to comment, but the trolls don't get to hurt me as well. So it's something I could think about, but I don't want to gag the good people. I don't like that. It's not fair. It's not fair on all you guys. So I was saying to my friend, what's the point of me making this new channel? I'm working so hard and already I've got one. You know, out of 40 people, already I have one who's a troll. And as I said before, these people won't come to your face and say it. They'll just say it from far away. You know, okay, fair enough. You've got an opinion. All right. You know, get off YouTube. All right. That's your opinion. Because he got off YouTube 2 years ago. He hasn't got any videos for 2 years. He's telling me to come off. That's what I think about your comment. You understand Italian, you understand this. Vaffanculo. Yeah. That means kind of piss off. Yeah, so my friend was saying to me, why don't you might as well just stick to your old channel then? And I'm saying, well, the whole point is I don't want trolls to mess up my new channel, and I want my new channel just to be about spiraling upwards, and I can use those narration style videos where my friend uses editing software to help me make those kind of videos, because my eyes, and I don't know what it is, my eyes, but also the fact that in front of the computer I can't really do it unless I get someone to edit for me, and that will cost money. I don't have a lot of money, so already I have to invest in. I've invested in software, editing software, and also, you know, I'm thinking about starting up a website and creating PDFs and audiobooks. But I'm spending most of my time thinking about scripts for videos and subject matter for videos. So I spend most of my time doing that, and then I'm exhausted and I have to like rest for a week or whatever and do videos again. So the thing is, to get any kind of growth on YouTube, you need at least 2 videos or 3 videos a week. And so that takes time. If I make a video myself, it takes me about 2 or 3 hours to make a video. If I make one of these rambling videos, then it still takes a few hours, because I have to cut out the bits that I can't add. You know, for example, the bits where I say and so on. These kind of filler, they're called filler words. So I have to cut those out. Probably takes an hour to do all that. Add some music at the end, and Then there's the captions at the bottom. Yeah, I think it was a lady. She said, or a person said, they didn't like the captions because they get in the way. Those bouncing ones, those are called dynamic captions. And so I'll leave it to the poll. I put a poll up to see if people want the captions or not, because she said that the person said they maybe they interfere with her um, say her pleasure with the experience. They get in the way, kind of thing. They're annoying, maybe. But some people did actually say to me, "Why don't you put captions on, like those dynamic captions?" So that's why I invested in the software. So now because you can't make everybody happy. You see, some people like the dynamic captions, some people don't. So sometimes you have to make things, because she was saying, the person was saying, you can click on the person who wants to can click on subtitles. The thing is, you have to make everything accessible, so people don't have to click anything. You have to actually tell people what to do or put it in their face. So if captions are there, yes, it's bad because you can't take it off if you don't like them, but it's good because people don't have to click subtitle. It's there. It's one less thing for them to do. So I'll have to see what the poll says, and maybe I can take away captions for these kind of videos and leave the captions on for the narration kind of videos where I'm teaching or talking about a subject and guiding people through some ideas that I have. So at the moment, it seems to be that people still want captions. It's about 60%. And I'll see after about a week, see what people say. And also did another poll about Manchester United versus Tottenham. A lot of people want Tottenham to win, but Man United fans are catching up. Yeah, it's going to be a... Well, by the time you see this video, it'll be finished. So either you Man United fans will be happy, or you Tottenham fans will be happy. Whoever wins, it will save their season, because both teams are 16th and 17th in the league. Technically last, because I think 18, 19, and 20 are those teams that are relegated into the championship. I think the next division. And the bottom of the Premiership, the bottom two teams face off in the final, the Europa League final, and whoever wins is automatically projected into next year's Champions League. So the team who loses, bloody hell, they lose everything. Terrible season, and there's nothing to save that season. Unfortunately, one has to win, one has to lose. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if it exists, the stress of the TV, not TV, the monitor being so close, and the how do you call it, the radiation or whatever affecting your body. And I just feel so stressed. When I have to spend a few hours in front of the computer, wow, it's so stressful. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to work that one out. Go out for a walk now, just to burn off some of the stress, move my body a little bit. Yeah, do you guys suffer from this stress? This when you're in front of a PC or a monitor. It doesn't happen with a laptop, and not so much with a mobile phone. It's that massive PC. Maybe it's an old PC, and I don't know, the vibes or whatever the energy is, it actually affects my body. So I don't know. I think I still have to sort out. Maybe I can use my TV that I got from the old house and use that as a monitor and get a keyboard and a mouse, infrared keyboard and mouse, and via Wi-Fi or whatever, link it up to the TV. I think it's a smart TV, and so then I can have a huge monitor, but far away from me, so it doesn't, hopefully, doesn't affect me. It's far enough not to affect my body. So I've yet to try that because I need to set it up. So I might need to get a what is it called? A remote control for that, because the doggies broke the remote control a long time ago, and I've been using my phone to access it, but now that doesn't work. Oh, my phone's broken as well, so I'm using this one. This is a 2018 Samsung, one of the first ones that I got that's still working. Yeah, so I need to upgrade at some point. I want to get the Galaxy 25. Galaxy 25, that is? I think it is. With a titanium back. That's beautiful. Anyway, I'll speak to you guys in the next video. Spiral up. Love God, love each other, and love yourself. And don't let these trolls get to you. These trolls don't actually, you never get to see them in real life, do you? Because the internet is so anonymous, they can do that. But yeah, imagine if they existed in real life, there'd be fights. There'd be people like fighting all the time. But it wouldn't happen because they know they'd be they wouldn't be allowed to bully or harass people. They only do that because they can hide. As I said, they hide in the shadows. They bully and then they run away because they can run away. Sometimes you hear about these guys, like making comments online, and then the police go to their house, and they made some comment, maybe not. They probably thought it was an innocuous comment, but usually you hear about these stories on the kind of right wing, alt-right GB News and things like that. To say that it's wrong that the police come to your house and pull you up, arrest you just for a post. And I used to believe that, and I still do believe that. But what if a person continues to post and harass and troll you, and you're a person who is fragile? So maybe one of these trans guys, or if you're gay or whatever, you are fragile. You are more fragile than a normal person. Who says that? You are. There was a guy who used to live at my place. His name was Tariq. He's half Italian and half Egyptian, I think. Anyway, one weekend he didn't come back home, and apparently he told my dad that he was going to Italy. He's going to come back on a Monday. So Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, I didn't see him. On a Monday, I called the police. And this was a period when my dad was starting to have dementia. And so he forgot that this guy Tariq told him. Because I asked my dad, I said, "Where's Tariq?" He goes, "I don't know." So I called the police, and I was living in Wales at the time. And the police asked me questions about him. Then they asked me, "Is he gay?" And I said, "I don't know. Well, why would that matter?" And he said, "Gay men, people who are gay, tend to have higher rates of suicide." And I thought, but I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. So I assume trans and gay men maybe have a higher rates. So mentally, emotionally more fragile. So now I'm starting to understand why maybe, people might say, "Oh, you tranny," or "you gay," stuff like that. They, because I'm not gay or trans, I don't understand. But now that I understand, I've never trolled a transsexual, sorry, transvestite or whatever. I've never trolled anybody, but I can understand now. I bloody understand why the police will come to your house. I think sometimes they exaggerate, but also being like a creator, a YouTube, like creating YouTube videos, believe me, people will harass and bully you and threaten you, and they don't stop. And I've never called the police, but you can imagine if you're a woman, a single mom or whatever, or a woman on her own, and you have a channel and people harassing you and stalking you. They find out your address, and you're a woman on your own. Like, you'd be scared. I'm not scared, but I'm scared of my family, because they might do. You don't know who the hell is out there. They might do something to your family. I'll tell you, that's the last thing they'll do. You know, they think they're bloody crazy. Anyway, yeah. So some people are more fragile. I'm fragile because I've got mental health issues. And I'm trying my best to live a peaceful life. With a channel, it's almost impossible to live a peaceful life, because sooner or later you're going to get some people harassing you, you know. And all right, fair enough, harass me face to face. They won't do that. They won't do that. So you can say something back to them. They won't. Well, I don't want anyone to harass me face to face. Sorry, I didn't mean that. So at some point, maybe I can try taking comments off for a while, or just getting somebody just to deal with the comments and I don't see them. It's unfortunate, but I have to do something, because the trolls won't stop. They just won't stop. I won't let them win. I'm going to still continue, and I'm going to help people. I think the only way to stop trolls, you see, when you stop trolls, you stop other people that are good people, is to get them to pay to watch. So pay to troll. People who pay won't be trolling. So YouTube has that membership. I'm not going to do the membership, because YouTube haven't paid me. So any membership I get will go to YouTube. So what's the point? So I could do something like Patreon, where you do a video maybe every once in a while, and then you do videos for Patreons. They pay £5 a month or £10 a month or whatever they want to pay every month, and it becomes like a club, isn't it? Like a membership. And those people definitely won't be trolling you, otherwise they get banned. People who pay won't won't give you won't harass you. I would have thought anyway. So because it's free, you get all these trolls. If it's not free, you won't get any trolls. Or you can get trolls and then just disable the comments, or allow the comments and get somebody to manage the comments for you. So my problem is, because my friend said, "Why do you look at the comments?" And I say, it comes up, the messages come up. She said, "No, I don't want you to look at the comments," because she sees I get pissed off. And I said, "Yeah, it's my fault. I shouldn't get pissed off." But when they're so rude and they say things that are really personal, yeah. Anyway, I have to think about it, and let let you guys know what I'm gonna do. So there's a few videos that I scheduled. There's a whole series on the Tao Te Ching, or Tao Te Ching. In the pinyin, it's Tao Te Ching, but lots of Westerners will know it as Tao Te Ching. So I think there's about 5 videos on that, and I'm going to make it into a series. And I might make that into an audiobook as well. I have to make an audiobook on the art of letting go, the little PDF that I did, so there can be an audiobook to accompany it. I might make an audiobook on the art of war. Yeah, I want to do that, and write a book on it and a commentary. So what else could I do? What I was thinking of doing also, that could be in the pipeline, is fictional stories about myself and the dogs having adventures, and one on an immortal theme, immortals from China or whatever, and via the stories teaching something important through the stories. Yeah, so the videos that are going to come up, that are scheduled, one is the Tao Te Ching, or a few of them are the Tao Te Ching. It's a series. 2 videos are about Peter, this 70-year-old in the Philippines, and he has 8 girlfriends. Part 1 and part 2. It's funny. And another guy from Thailand, Paul, his story. He wrote me an email, and I made that into a video. Then there's My Estranged Daughter, that one. Another one is Biblical Secrets. I'm not sure what the title's going to be, but Alchemical Secrets in the Bible. And I know some Christians, oh, you shouldn't say that, Gerald, no. But, some people say, oh, blasphemy or whatever. Not blasphemy, but, you shouldn't say that about the Jesus Christ or the Bible or whatever. A lot of Christians, when they talk with respect, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, I think, I'm not going to mention, it's not as if I know what I'm talking about. I know very little. So it takes one to know one. But I've got like a specific, a weird kind of belief, so I'm just saying it, I'm not saying I hate Christians or I hate Jesus. No way. I would never say that. I love my Christian brothers and sisters. But the things that I have to say are, some Christians might not like it, and I apologize in advance. But the way I see it is, I have a weird kind of view of Christianity or the Bible. I have the normal view, the basic view of Christianity. You have all these branches, don't you? They're all fighting against each other. Jehovah's Witness, was it Pentecostal? What are they? I was going to say conservative. Yeah, kind of. Was it Catholic? Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses. You have loads of them, but the root is here, the Bible, the basics. The basics are, you have, Genesis, then you have Revelation, and in the middle, Jesus, his life and his, he preached. Those basics. But I think the central theme, or the most important thing in Christianity, is that you are saved by the blood of Jesus. You are saved. Jesus died for you, and the resurrection is really important. So I'm not going to trample on that really, but I do believe in that. But I, like a Jekyll and Hyde figure, I have 2 ways of thinking. I have my funny side, you see I'm rambling here, and then I have my serious side where I'm meditating, I'm thinking about things. So it's good to be both. So when it comes to the Bible, yes, I sometimes pray to Jesus, usually when I'm in trouble. And I pray to God, please help me. And, the usual Christian, the normal average Christian. I'm not a great Christian. I don't go to church and I don't read the Bible because I feel I'm still not ready for it. I feel the Bible is sacred. Yeah, sacred. And, this means like so many things in different language, in different countries. In Sicilian, in Italian, this is cornuto. And it means cuckold. Your wife's having it off with someone else. And they have this hand here is cut off here, and it's dangled, where the mirror is. It's a red thing like this, a red hand, and it's supposed to be luck. It's there for good luck. I think in Turkey, this means Nazi. So it means different things. It doesn't always mean the devil, the horned one. So on this side here, you have, my ideas on the Bible are more, I think Jesus spoke in parables, and, the people in the past were Hebrews, Jewish, or, or not Kabbalists, but they spoke in code, for want of another word, in parables. Jesus spoke in parables. And I believe that the Bible is full of symbolic code. There are codes in there. I believe that that many parts of the Bible have alchemical codes. Basically, they teach you how to make the elixir of life. So I have this thinking here, and when I think like this, I always say to this side of myself, I say, this side of myself comes in, and I say, Jesus, please, if I've got it wrong, forgive me. But I don't mean to be wrong. I don't mean to be evil or anything like this. I just don't know. I'm a doubting Thomas, and I'm just searching. I'm not satisfied with this here. Because when you look at Christians, they're some of them are some of the most evil people that bloody exist, and yet they call themselves Christian. I don't think, if Jesus existed nowadays, he wouldn't be really happy with them. I'm not giving examples. Well, I will. Like, sometimes you might go to, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about my lot, let's say, Italians, for example, because I don't want to upset anybody else. Sometimes Italians might come out of the church, all dressed up really nice, on a Sunday, and, look the part, look rich, and then they might see a beggar and just walk past them. What kind of Christianity is that? Or gossip behind their back, and we're all just normal people. It's difficult to be a really good Christian. I know that. But anyway, that it just explains because somebody was saying, don't get into the satanic stuff. No, I won't. But the thing is, some people might think, if you deviate a little bit from this way of thinking, then you become this. So if I deviate slightly to this side and actually start thinking, what does Christ mean? Have you ever thought of the what is it? The Lord's Prayer. What do you mean, have you thought of the Lord's Prayer? Just go and ask your priest. That's what the Catholics would say. But this was the problem. The Catholics, or people in the past, people weren't allowed to know what's inside the Bible, because most people, didn't learn, were illiterate. They didn't know how to read or write, and so the how do you call him? The priest with his big halo, like levitating above everyone. He would, he would tell the congregation what this meant, what that meant. But the congregation, the people couldn't study for themselves what the Bible said. So it's only recently, I don't know, a few hundred years or whatever, that we can actually read the Bible and think for ourselves. What does this mean? What does that mean? You know? And I've often said to friends of mine, I don't say too many friends, because the Christians, not only Christians, but anybody who has a belief or an opinion, a religion, if you trample on that belief, you can't mess about with people's beliefs or religion. So it's better just to be quiet. But I've said to my friend, because she's quite open, very open, and but even she probably might find it difficult. But she's nice, There's not many people like her. I'll tell you that. So I said, why is it in the Bible it says, "Forgive us as we forgive, and lead us not into temptation"? How can God lead you into temptation? It doesn't make sense. If you have a loving God, He can't lead you into temptation. So why say lead us away? Lead us away from means that He could lead you into. It doesn't make sense. So I think the translation, the previous translation was lead us away from trials, or something like that, or lead us away from trials, or something like that. So that kind of makes more sense. And another part of the Bible said something like Jesus dwelt, or Christ dwelt among us. So that would mean, okay, He's a person who lived among us. But if you look at the original Greek translation, it's not lived among us. Christ lived within us. Now, if Christ is a human being, He can't live inside human beings. So Christ is not a human being. Christ is an energy. And so if you say that Christ is an energy, then the Christians will be saying, what the hell are you talking about, demon? Well, the word Christ, what does it mean? The Christ means anointed, the anointed one. So this anointed energy called Christ is not but people will say, but there is a historical Jesus, didn't you know? Yes, there is a historical, and this is the problem. The Bible isn't a simple book. And so I don't really know completely how to decipher the code, but there is code in there, or there are teachings within teachings within teachings. There are layers upon layers of understanding and wisdom. It's not as simple as this happened, and so this is what it means. And for example, there are stories that mimic the story of our Lord Jesus in the Bible that predate the Bible. And then also there are parts of the Bible that have been taken away. So, the lost books of the Bible have been taken away by some Pope or a Roman, I forgot his name. And the Bible has been altered. The religion has been altered by not so good people. Look at what's his name. Was it King Henry VIII? He change the religion so that he can lob off a few heads of his wives and remarry again and divorce or whatever. So the religion and even the Bible has been changed. Not changed, has been changed, because it's supposed to be 88 books, I think, and you only have 66 books because those 22 books have been taken away. Why? What did they want to hide? There are certain things that certain people didn't want the people to know, the masses to know. So you're not allowed to think for yourself. But nowadays, you're allowed to think for yourself. So if Christians say you're not allowed to think that way, why not? Why not? It's nothing. I don't think that I say or think evil. I'm trying to get at the core. And I believe the Bible. I don't believe the Bible is just a book that you read, you go to church, and that's it. No, the Bible is much, much, much more than that. And as I always say, I'm going to treat it as a sacred book and approach it as a sacred book. And, you know, and read it quietly when I've meditated. And once I start that, I'll let you guys know what I come up with. If I come up with anything, I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, that video is about the secret codes in the Bible. And there are secret codes. There are certain coincidences that it's just too much of a coincidence. And for example, thousands of years before Christ was born, certain stories mimic the story of, as I said, of our Lord. Let me change the subject and then go back to that. Well, anyway, here's a question. There was a guy, no, not a guy, a special person, who was born from a virgin and was born in a dark place. When this person was born, something happened to the stars. And what else? Anyway, he was a very important person. So you would think that's Jesus. No, it's Krishna. And this happened like thousands of years before Jesus was born. 500 years before Jesus was born, Confucius said, do something like, do good to others as you would like to be done to yourself. Do unto others what you would like to be done to yourself. You see, these are universal truths. But these were said, and these stories were done like 500 years, thousands of years before Christ. And there's more. This is just like the tip of the iceberg. So I'm never putting a Christian down because I'm Christian myself, although I'm a weird Christian, you know, but I would never troll a Christian. I wouldn't troll anyone. I wouldn't say anything bad about a Christian. But some Christians, when they hear what I have to say, they'll say you're evil or something like that. But, you know, they have to be what they have to be, and I have to be what I have to be. If they don't like me, then fair enough. I have to think about God. And that's another thing. What I believe in is that we have a God, there are two gods. There's only one God, really. But God is formless and ready to take on form at any time. We have a God here in our mind. And then there's the non-local God, which is up there. We have a heaven here, and there's a heaven up there in some other dimension or whatever. So as you can see, I have wacky ideas, but the truth could be wacky. It could be so crazy that could be the case. I'll give you one last secret. When I was growing up, you know, the Catholics, you know, when we pass by. In Ireland, it's even worse. No, not worse, or better, I suppose, or worse, I don't know. I remember when I went to stay in Ireland a few times. I travelled. Like there was a nun that walked past, and there was this guy doing the cross like that. I thought, they're worse than us Sicilians. So myself, my family, I grew up, and every time we drove by, there's like a big church and a statue of Jesus. My mum would go like this, and Dad, Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and then kiss. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Yeah, the Lord, you know. So, isn't it funny that the Father is here in the middle of your head, the Son is here near the heart or solar plexus, and the Holy Ghost is here. Father in heaven, Son in Bethlehem, here, the solar plexus, and the Holy Ghost, which controls the body. If you just think about that, this is also, it could be a secret code or a ritual that has been, I'm not sure if just Christians, Catholics do it, or other Christians, you know. But from when I was young, I thought, why? Well, sorry, recently, but from when I was young, I used to do this. But recently, I thought, oh, I see. So Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is within, and I assume God resides within the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven can only be in the brain, in the mind, in the local mind and non-local mind. And so Jesus comes down from heaven into Bethlehem. Bethlehem is the house of bread, or the solar plexus. The Holy Ghost controls all this or supervises all this. So, as you can see, I'm moving into an area that Christians won't like, but I won't say anything else. But I think it's really interesting. And it's not Jesus that comes down from heaven, it's Christ that comes down from heaven. Christ is the anointed one. So Christ, the anointed, comes down from the Father, from heaven to earth. And that's what I believe in. It might be crazy for some Christians because they never heard it before, but if you look into it a little bit deeper, it's a nice thing to do as a kind of meditation, to think of Christ coming down from heaven into our body and then moving up again. Yeah, so the other videos that I've got to do, let me see, what other ones? About transcending, another one. Well, I have a few. I'll leave them. What I'll do is I'll post a few of the thumbnails so you guys can have a look. Yeah, and I'm not scared to do some controversial ones because you need some controversy. But I don't do it for controversy's sake. I do it because I'm interested in some things and I believe in other things. And yeah, it's going to piss some people off, but you have to take a risk in life. You can't just always stay in your own little bubble and not say anything. What happens if you're right? You know, I can't. If I go to some like Christian meeting or church and talk like this, they'll have me thrown out. You can't talk to anyone. You can't deviate from that the wide path. Didn't Jesus say the path is narrow? And I'm taking the narrow path. Anyway, I speak to you guys. I've been rambling on for ages. I'll speak to you guys in the next video. Oof. Spiral upward, guys. And join me in the next video. If you disagree with me and hate me now, then don't worry. Maybe in the next video I'll talk about something that you do like. If you hate me, hate isn't good, you know. It's going to hurt you. And I don't want that. So, love yourself, of course. You can't hate someone and love yourself at the same time, because when you hate someone, you know, that hate has to come out of your body before it actually arrives at the other person and affects them. It's going to affect you first. So, love yourself first, and then from there, Let that love emanate to other people. Love others. Love God, which is up there and inside you. And forgive people. Try your best to forgive people, or at least be patient with people. And spiral upwards, as I say. And buy my books and my audiobooks, anything that I create, buy them. The thing is, I haven't got a chance to create them. I'm so busy. The next thing I'm going to do is the audio version of Letting Go. And then I'll start to do the Tao Te Ching, the whole of the Tao Te Ching, and my commentary. I'll do the Art of War maybe, and then I'll do my theory or idea of transcendence and the 5 pillars, and create them as PDFs and also audiobooks. And as I said, fiction, works of fiction. One about me and the dogs having adventures. One based on the theme of immortality. Yeah, that'll be good. All right. See you guys in the next video.